Good morning, kids. Welcome back to art class. This is what we accomplished last week to create a slideshow with one slide being filled with four PNG file photos of shapes that we created in real life. The first design shape right here, as you know, was to be broken tones, sort of. And the next one here is to be scumbling drawing. We talked about that. And this is the shape from the first week that we did. Go back and do that if you haven't. And here, the last shape is the one with the pattern, okay? Now, in front of me over here, I've got the shapes in real life, all right? Now, pay attention because we're ending the end of the unit here and very soon, and the end of the term is coming too, so grades will be out soon, so follow along. Here, we have our real life shapes, just like we have here I showed you. And now our goal is to make sure the size of these shapes on the screen are the same size relationship to each other as they are in real life. Okay, so let's go back to here. Lay your pieces out on a table just like mine. And you can see that this shape and this shape and this shape are basically the same size in real life. These three. This one is much smaller than the rest. It's about half the size of this yellow one. Okay, so that's going to be good to know. All three the same, and then half the size of the yellow one. Let's go back to my screen and resize some things. As you're resizing your objects on the screen, you never want to grab the side right here. Why? Because that will deform your piece. You don't want to change the shape of the piece, never. Instead, we grab the corner of it like this. That way, it keeps the same proportions, but it just grows bigger or smaller. So first thing I'm gonna do is make this thing about half the size of the yellow guy, so it's more like real life. That's pretty close right there, all right. The other one, well, this one needs to be bigger because it's about the same size as the yellow one. Maybe a little bit bigger. No, actually, we'll shrink this one down a little bit. Okay, and this last one, I think it's just about the right size there, maybe a little bit smaller. Okay, so now all three of these shapes are just like their real life versions here. So I want you to do the same thing on yours first, and then we can pay attention only to the screen here. All right, so here we go. Now the first thing I'll have you do after you've resized the shapes is you're going to adjust them so that they're brighter and more contrast. What you do is you click on a shape right here, for example, 1 by 1, and go to Format here, and you go to Format Options here. And then on the right side, this thing pops up, okay? And you go over here and you go to Adjustments, and this gives you all sorts of cool selections. I can make my shapes brighter. See how it changes? Or darker. So let's say your photograph is really dark. You don't want that. Let's turn it up so it's a bit brighter. I like that. And this will adjust the contrast. You can kind of play with that a little bit to make it sharper, the image. All right. And I've already adjusted mine actually before we started the video, so I'm good to go. If I want out of this box, I could just click on this X right here. Boom, and it's gone. So now let's get in here and talk about some more stuff here. So next thing you're going to do is you're going to make sure that these are cropped really closely. So for example, let's take this one right here. You're going to go up to this little icon right here, little cropping icon, click on that, and then you can grab the sides and bring them in all the way as close as you can to the edge. Obviously don't cut off the edge of your shape, but bring it in as close as you can, like right there, close as you can to all your shapes. And I've already cropped mine pretty close, so this one's not done yet. So do this to all of your shapes, crop them in real tight so we don't waste any space on our screen. Even closer. There we go. And this guy, how's he doing? Oh, he's really close. Good. So they're all four really cropped closely. No wasted space. Now, the next thing I'm going to have you do is make sure you have a, if you haven't done it yet, a black background or some other color is fine, but not white. You'll see why in a minute. So make the background color a different color. You go to here where it says background. This is in Google Slides, of course. Background, you click on that. You can pick your color of background. Keep it kind of simple, like don't pick bright red, please. Black, and then I click done, and good. Okay. Next thing we're going to do, and we're almost done with the first stage of this, move your shapes kind of out of the way a little bit to the sides. And now I'm going to create a big rectangle. So I go to here, and I go to the shapes icon right here. Click on that, go to shapes. This drops down, and I go to rectangle. And now I can create a rectangle. And I want my rectangle to be filled with a certain color. So let's say I go to, oh man, where's my fill? I'll do that in a bit. Let's drop down a rectangle shape about that big. Now mine's already white, and I want you to create a rectangle that's about the exact same size as I've got here. Make it a little bit bigger. Like that is good. Okay. The same size and shape as mine. And when you move it around the screen, you can tell that this red line pops up across the middle vertically. When you get it to there, stop. And also try to get it not toward the bottom of the screen or toward the top, but right kind of in the middle of the screen too, with that red line popping up. That means it's in the center. All right. Now, if your rectangle is not the color you need, you can click on the rectangle, and then you can go up here to the fill bucket, and you can pick the color of your rectangle, but it has to be white, okay? Make it a white rectangle with a colorful background or a black background like mine. Okay, almost there. Next thing you do is you're going to grab their shapes, and you're just going to kind of pull them over here. Oh, look at that. I'm glad that happened. So let's click my rectangle here again. I'm going to right-click on my rectangle. So I'm going to right-click right here, and this menu pops up. Okay, do that again. I'm going to right-click, and this menu pops up. And I'm going to go down to where it says Order. And if I go Send to Back, now it's going to send my rectangle shape all the way to the back. So it's behind my other shapes. So click on that, Send to Back. Now I should be able to drag this in front of it. Yep, I am in front. So take all of your shapes and drag and drop them right on top of your rectangle. Okay? All right. All right, now the next thing we do is we're going to copy this slide. We go over here, and you click on the slide. Right here, I should turn yellow, I think. Click on that, and I press Control C, okay? And that copies it for me. I think if you have a Mac, it's Control or Command C. And then I'm going to press Enter, create a new slide here. Click on that new slide, and then I'm going to go Control V, okay? Control V copies and pastes. But I've got this blank slide here, so I'm going to click on that blank slide. I'm going to delete that. And I'm going to do that again. So I go to here, create a new slide, click on the new slide, Control V, and then one last time, I'm going to go here, new slide, and then click on the new one, and then Control V again. Okay, now I've got 4 slides that are the exact same. Click on this, I go down, and they all look the same. But this is where the artistic part comes in. All right, everybody. Now it's time to arrange our designs in a fascinating way. So, to do that, follow along. I'm gonna give you some tips here. Okay, so first thing I'll have you do is consider stacking these like I did before, coming forward or going back. You can right click on any of the shapes you want, like I'm doing here, and you go to order. Let's say I want to put this one behind the yellow one. I want to go to here, and I want to go order, and I want to go send backward. Okay, it sends it backward. If that doesn't work, I could try it again. I could send it backward again. Order, send backward, and now it's behind this yellow shape, but in front of here. If I click send to back, it might put it behind the white rectangle, so be careful. Now I'm just going to start arranging my shapes, and it's your job to arrange your shapes on your white rectangle in a fun and interesting and designed interesting way. Remember, if you think some shape is too dark or something, you can go back and change it by going to Format Options, excuse me, and then Contrast. Oops. Okay. All right, Brightness. Yeah, all this good stuff. I'm going to change this one right here. Contrast. Brightness. There we go. Okay. Now I'm going to arrange these things in a fun way. Like I said, there are a few things you can do. You can send things back, or you can bring things forward. You can go like this, go to order. I can go bring to front, and now this one's in front of everything. You can see. So arrange yours and stack them. Doing overlap is a good design technique. Overlapping by sending to backward or bringing forward. Now I can start rotating my shapes. So I can grab this little thing up here, and I can click and I can drag it. I can even rotate it completely upside down or to the side. I don't care what you do, it's up to you. But you may not resize the images. They're all fixed, their sizes are correct, remember? So don't click on the corner, don't click on the sides here. We don't want to stretch these things around. You just move them around, and they have to be on your white rectangle. Now, can they go off the rectangle? Oh yeah, looks really nice actually. What I want you to try to avoid doing is, see this shape right here on the bottom? Is try to avoid lining up the shape with the edge of something perfectly, like that, okay? Instead, think about going all the way through the edge or landing inside of it. Does that make sense? So I'm going to try to go through the edge to expand things a bit. And I'm just going to work with this with you watching for a second until I get a design I like. I'm going to bring this forward, order, bring to front. I like that, bring on top of that. Now you may ask, why is this on mine show three-dimensional effect? Well, I'll show you how to do that. All you have to do if you want a three-dimensional effect for something is you click on the shape, you go to Format Options, okay, that pops up over here again. And now you're going to go not to Adjustments, but to this thing called Drop Shadow. You click on that. If you click on this box here, now it has a drop shadow on this one right here. And I can adjust the distance of my drop shadow. Look at that on my shape, how it changes. I can adjust the distance of my shadow to make it stick out further. This one's in the back, so I'm going to make it stick out just a little bit. And then you can adjust the blurriness of it. Okay. Look at that. I can blur it away completely, or I can blur it slightly. I can adjust the transparency of the shadow, make it darker or lighter. And I can adjust where it is. This is called the angle. So I can make it go up there. I can make it go down there. I'm going to put mine right about there. Okay? Now, I hope this is making sense to you. You're just going to fool around with this thing and until you get the design you like overall. I kind of like how these things are hanging off the edge, but they're all sort of on it. A couple last rules. Make sure you don't take any of the shapes off the picture. I don't want it going off the slide, please. So it can go off the white area a little bit, but not too much. just about as much as I have here on this one. And don't go off any more than that, please. Keep it kind of on the white area. Try to go away from the edges, either inside the edges or past the edges like I'm demonstrating. Rotate all you want. It's up to you. And what else? Oh yes, one last thing. Once you've finished one that you really, really like and you think it's a cool looking design, it makes a lot of effort moving these things around. Try to spend 15-20 minutes doing it. Then you're going to go to your next slide. This is slide number 2. And I'm going to do a different design here. Totally different. Maybe I'm going to flip this around completely. Maybe I'm going to move this one down here and this one up top. But they have to be very different, all 4 of your designs, each on each slide, okay? So please, let me see some amazing stuff from you guys. In the end, I should have 4 slides on Google Slides turned in, each slide containing a centered design in the middle and a different design on this little white rectangle. That's a lot of information today, but remember, end of term's coming up, kids. That means your grades are due soon, so please, we don't want any emails home that don't sound nice. So get on this and catch up if you're behind, and email me if you have any particular questions. That's all I have for you today. Have fun. Check out my finished product as an example in this task in Google Classroom. Bye.